Hmm. That whole time, I wasn't even. Hi. All right, so I started doing the high frequency when I would get my facials done, and I love my high frequency ones. Now, I don't know, there may not be science-backed results for this, but I like it, and usually, they put this gauze on your face and then use the wand. I just tie it around here because it's easier. And you always do that on dry skin. So now, because I'm going to be wearing makeup, I like thin layers. I like a lot of thin layers. So I already have toner, this Japanese hyaluronic lotion, niacinamide serum, and now a light moisturizer. And usually with the moisturizer, I like give myself a face massage. especially working into the ears, that helps to depuff. I like to really give myself a face massage and sunscreen. Sunscreen, especially neck, ears. I love the sheen that a sunscreen gives makeup and your face. And being on the plane, there's a lot of sun that comes through the airplane windows. So you definitely have to wear sunscreen as a flight attendant just to be aware that you are constantly being hit with sun rays to the highest degree. Um, even as a passenger, like there's always benefit to wearing sunscreen. I also say this because I love to be in the sun. This is my whole massage daily that I do. I dyed my eyebrows. I do that because I like a, a dark defined eyebrow, but I don't necessarily care to fill them in all the time. So, light layers, very light layers. Now I'm going to go in with my primer. So I have two different primers. I have the Serum primer, and I love this primer. I've been using the Serum primer, but I'm going to use this other primer because it gives such a glow. And when I do makeup, so I used to do makeup professionally, and I still think I do a great professional style makeup. I like to see my skin, and I would tell people at the makeup counters that if you take care of your skin, then the makeup is always going to look that much better because the makeup is just going on to the canvas, which is your skin. Okay, so I put that on, and then I typically I do my brows. So for my brows, because I shape my brows, but I don't really pluck them anymore. My secret is dyeing my brows. So even if there's brows that you can't see, once you dye them, you can really see all of the brows. That's the easiest way to say it. Because the fuller the brow, just a nice full brow completes a face. At least that's what I think. So I use edge control on my brows. And then I just do that. And I let them set. Also, with my brows, if they aren't exactly the same, that is okay. As long as I see as long as I see the vision and I know, then I don't really mind. Plus, I like my brows. I naturally have a really nice shape. Okay, that is my brow. Right. So now I actually use this beauty balm underneath my eye. I let that sit for a moment. I love a beauty balm on my lips for my eyes. And I find a lot of preparation, preparation is just that, preparing the skin. So sometimes right now I use a pressed powder or a loose powder. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I do use a loose powder before I put anything on. And just a little. The classic translucent powder that I've been using for over 20 years because it's just so good. Um, Once I find a product that is consistently good, I don't really search for others. There's a lot of great loose powders. I just so happen to work in the department store at the same counter as this makeup company. So I was always, this was like the first loose powder I was really introduced to, and it stuck. It just stayed. Um, so I'm doing this before I put on, I have primer, I have a beauty balm on, and I use the loose powder before I put anything on. All right. So with color correction, I use, okay, here's the thing. Sometimes I actually put on a blush, but I'm just gonna color correct. I put everything on the back of my hand, and this is an orange blush, but I use it sparingly as a color corrector, just in those areas underneath the eye that are kind of not hollow, but they're a little bit darker. So I pat that on, and then with my wet blender sponge, and I'm going to do the absolute same on the other side. See, I'll put it there. I correct here. I'll correct here. And with the wet sponge, the purpose is to have it be a very light veil of color correction. And I also think color correcting really um, underneath your makeup. I like to do a lot of underpainting. In real life, it looks so much better. Of course, on camera, it looks one way, but in real life, it looks a lot more natural because I don't care for cakey makeup, but it's not even cakey makeup. It's just overly done makeup. I don't care for. All right. So now that I have that and around my nose, I'm definitely going to wipe this off my hand, or else you'll be walking and you don't know, and then it gets all over the place. But what can you do? Concealer. I have a lot of what concealer am I going to use today? I like this one. This one's almost out. But it has such great coverage. And it sets very fast. So with this, I put it on and immediately pat it in. And that is one concealer, one very lightly spread concealer, because I will use another one. I go in light layers. I always bring this up just down here. That's it for the first coating of blush, but not blush, concealer. I am going to go in with with my blush. I go in with blush and then concealer, and then I think I set everything. Okay, so what blush do I want to use? I love cream blushes. So I'm going to mix 2 cream blushes that I have on my hand. I like to use my fingers when I do my makeup because they're the perfect applicator. They help to warm up the makeup so it spreads a lot easily. And then I kind of like all of the products to mix. So if there is a little concealer on my hands, it's now going to mix with the blush and it just makes for a perfect mix. Anyway, this is all the blush before I put on more concealer. And then I like to rub everything around my face. So anything that's left, nose and forehead. Okay, pink blush, somewhat done, overdone, because there's going to be a little bit more concealer that goes on. And this is a hydrating concealer. So what you'll notice, I don't cake a lot on. I like the product to work well. I also don't have like I don't have serious under eye concerns. My under eyes are bright, unless I'm really, really tired. So I'm not looking to like cancel out all the darkness underneath my eye. Brightness, sure, but I don't really have darkness under my eyes. And thank you. The point is my goal is always to have beautiful, dewy, fresh, radiant skin, just perfected. There's times for a lot more makeup, but I I believe with less makeup, it just elevates my face more. Some people can they really they carry a lot of makeup and it brings out all their features. I believe I can, however, I like some of my best looks are not overdone makeup looks, like with lashes and all of that, but I'm all for it. So that's that additional concealer that went right over the blush. So it's somewhat it's seamless. It just blends in. You don't see any lines between the blush and the concealer. And that is the point. I still haven't added any foundation because I do like to underpaint. This is I love to underpaint. I found that underpainting works very well for me. And I also enjoy just highlighting and bringing out any of the natural shadows on my face. So I'm not trying to uh, change the shape of anything. I just highlight all of the natural shadows in my face because whenever you put on makeup, you're somewhat taking all the color out of your face. So to put some shadows back in and color just helps. I like the shape of my nose. So again, I highlight all of this. I just highlight my face. I don't try to do too much changing. It's all good. Um, let's see. highlighting stick under brow bone. Uh, okay. So I'm not gonna blend any of that out. I'm just going to actually paint over that. Now here's my other trick. I do blend my own foundation. I blend my own foundation because hold on. Because our faces tan and change color so much. Let me get my brushes. My intention was to wash my brushes, but I didn't get to it this morning. I will do it later today. So I am going to blend my own foundation. I usually take a bronzer and a foundation or a concealer and mix it until I get the right color. And you can also add a little uh, setting powder, loose setting powder to your custom made foundation mix that will help with, I think that's it. That'll help with the stain power. Okay, so foundation, I'm just going to put it right over all of this contour. So I do this and then right over, and then right over. So it's just tapping, and I can also go over some of that contour. Some of that contour. I enjoy makeup. I just, while flying, I kind of had my own routine, and it was always, well, I always loved my red lipstick. Very meticulous skincare, defined brows, defined lashes, rosy cheeks. That was it. I don't need to put on like lashes and things, although these things are very nice. And I also remember sitting in the mirror, doing my makeup, looking. Oh, sir, I just saw this. What time is it? Okay, so how can thank you, Shania. How can you prevent caking? Well, caking of what? Caking of what? Caking just means that you're probably putting on too much or the surface of your skin isn't smooth. So if makeup is caking, it's possibly too much. The surface of your skin isn't smooth. Um, it could be too much powder I think you can also just put on setting spray. I think setting spray, corrects most things. If you think it looks cakey, setting spray. If you think it looks too matte, setting spray. If it's not matte enough, setting spray. I just think setting spray kind of runs the gamut of everything. You can use setting spray for anything and everything. Okay, this is just a shimmer highlight. Chin here. Okay, so that's all of my cream products. Now I actually set that. I set all of these cream products with a little loose powder before I go in with the rest of my makeup. So I have the loose powder on the puff. Jeez, there's so much. Okay, so when I take that puff with that powder, I rub it into the puff. I rub it into the puff. So when I set my makeup, I'm not caking, I'm not baking, I'm just pressing all of that powder that I worked in to the puff onto my face to set all of the liquid products. And I set my lids with that loose powder. I love a loose powder. I love a loose powder. The less, the better, because loose powder will just set your makeup. It's everything. So from here, I don't really do too much more. I'm going to put on a little shadow. And I have this base color that's somewhat neutral. Sometimes I just use my blush and I use that as the shadow, which I can definitely do today. But let's do, I love a glowy brown eye. I just love it. So with this, see, I love this. I love this. I am going to use, I love smoke. I love just a soft brown eye. All right. So I'm going to use my finger and this. Again, using my finger for shadow, it kind of packs it on a bit more, but I like how it diffuses the shadow. So I'm using this color and then packing it on and then rubbing it through. Thank you. So I bring it all the way up, and then you just got to take a beautiful brown, which I love this brown. Now I have a few different, I wonder how this, I'm going to see how this works. No, I am not going to see how that works. Doesn't look like it would diffuse the shadow that well. So I have another one of these nice diffusing shadow brushes and a nice rich matte brown, which I love. I love a golden brown eye, a brown bronze cheek, like a shimmery golden lip. I love that. I absolutely love it, love it, love it. So since I already used the highlighting stick on my brow, I already have that lighter no makeup check. Outfit check. Okay. It just blends perfectly. Maybe at the end of the complete look, we'll do a fit check because I will be probably changing. But yes. Now my favorite is to go in with shimmer. I do love a shimmer. I love a shimmer. I love this shimmer. I love, yeah, I'm going to do this. Okay. And I will take that brown and put it underneath my eye. I guess I can do that now. This brown. Next, eyeliner. I like to make sure my eyeliner is sharp. Because I love a tight line. I love a tight line with a little short wing, but not like a full wing. I'll show you. See, small strokes in between the lashes because I just want a light line. That's perfect. I'll clean up underneath after. Very good. I do go in with a little of concealer. To clean up anything underneath. Okay. Where is my beautiful, there it is. So before I actually set my under eyes again, I go in with this damp sponge. I tap in that concealer. And it prevents my under eyes from looking really cakey. Okay, for my brow, I just add little strokes where necessary. And to ensure that that is really cleaned up, I will once again go in with a little concealer. Blush, more blush. So I will put another blush on. That is cream. And then I'll go over the cream blush with more powder blush. But I love blush. It makes you look so healthy. I had my sister say, "Yeah, you have blush blindness and bronzer blindness." And I said, "No, I had what's up? What's up, Keith? I have blush and I have bronzer. It was not blindness. I purposely put that much on for a reason." And whenever I put on blush, I always put on that blush all over my face. Okay, can never go wrong with blush. Hey, hey, hey. Now on top of that blush, I'm going to use like this type of pink blush, which I really like. I love a pink blush. I just like blush. Are you posting today, Keith? I hope you are. Okay, so it's supposed to look like too much because then when I put the setting powder, it like cancels it all out. So I like that. And I keep it very simple on my lips. I love a uh, gloss, but I'm going to use, I have a liner. Let's see what lipstick this is. Oh, yeah, your event. How exciting, Keith. Look at you. This is going to be great. How are you feeling? Are you excited? So I have this. Let's try this. Yes, I love it. That locked in. I love it. Stay locked in. I'm proud of you, Keith. The brush I'm looking for is here. Thank you. What are you proud about for me, Keith? Okay, concealer. This is going to be, thank you, Keith, for the gifts. This, I don't know what that is in the chat because I've never watched Bridgerton. Thank you, Keith, for all the gifts. We inspire each other. Yeah, me too. Hey, Keith, wait a minute. This is, hold on. Hold on. I have to connect the thing. Okay. And I've been doing two-a-days, Keith. I've been doing two-a-days. Okay. So once you lock in physically with your body, everything else follows suit. Okay. Lastly, I have my shadow and everything. The last thing I like to do, because I'm done, I will curl my lashes and add mascara. But in the corner of the eye, I love a shimmer. Everyone knows. I don't know if you know. I love a shimmer. I don't know. This headband, I don't know. It may not even be mine. I don't know where I got my headband. Someone just asked me where did I get my headband. So I have this really shimmery gold. And I always love to tap that. I'll clean it up, but I like to tap it right into the corner of my eye. That is it. Okay. I'm going to curl my lashes. I have really long lashes, so I do like curling them. Hi, Lady T. Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to do. I have my loose setting powder. That was actually just all flying out as I was doing that. And with the loose setting powder, I set a couple different ways. Um, I'm always on the go. I'm actually going to speak at an organization. So, yeah, I do my makeup. I had a look in mind, and that's what I'm doing. I'm speaking a lot as of recently. So most of the time when you see me doing my makeup, I'm just doing my makeup to go and present somewhere. Thank you. Okay, I lightly do that under my eyes, but I don't do way too much. And lastly, I like to, with a big brush, I have like a highlighter somewhere. One more blush, one more pinky blush. Because I do love my blush. And with the same brush, my loose powder. I bring it under my eye. Bring it under my eye. And that is it. You are painted today. I am. I've been enjoying doing makeup looks again. I mean, I always have. Let me set. I always have, and I appreciate your compliment, T. It's all in that care of oneself. You know, we used to just put on makeup to take a picture or to practice our makeup just to look pretty, to go to the mall. Like doing that again. Doing that where you just, it's not a chore, it's a choice to truly beautify yourself. This kind of brings it all together. But then finally, I have some Q-tips somewhere. Because it doesn't translate like that. Okay. I think that's it. So when you see me on later, just know you watched the whole look. I'm not going to wear this headband. That's right. It sure doesn't. It sure doesn't. There's nothing else. That's just the soft, yes, the soft beat never goes out of style. Um, you know what I wanted to do? I actually, I want to do like a, how else can I don't know. The hair is always another thing. I actually like my hair to be down. I don't know. I was gonna do a whole halo braid because I like my hair up, but at the same time, I like my hair down. I don't have, well, I can just create a vision. Let's see. What do we want to do? Mm, maybe I can do like a braided look. Where are all my combs and stuff? I actually just cleaned this area, so everything I need, I'll figure it out. See if I do it is, it's getting longer and I just had, a trim, was it last week? A dusting of all of my ends, which was needed. I wanna do something half up, half down. Half up, half down. I almost just want a really tight, like something like this with my tiny little bun. I just want that. So let me see if I can recreate that unless I do a side twist. What can we do with a little part? Um, maybe back like this. Maybe back like this. Oh, T, help me, help me, help me. I think let's see. I like styled, unstyled. The makeup is already cutesy enough. See, this is just how I create styles. I'll just take my hair and pin some, twist some. It's like I'm back in a sophomore in high school. I don't know. This is just going to work because I say it is. I don't know if this is working. It doesn't look too crazy. My hair permanently has a curl, so I'll play with it more. This is what we got now. This is the look now. Right, that's my get ready with me. Now I have to go do something great. So I hope you enjoyed this. And I enjoy my look. It looks great. See you next time.